Father of Suantraí Íosa, you're very welcome. We're about to begin spring. The 1st of February is the beginning of spring in Ireland, and it's a wonderful time. It's the feast of St. Brigid of Kildare. Now behind me here we have Brigid with the fire of God's love. She had a fire in her monastery, which is a symbol of God's love, was never allowed to go out. It burned always. And just over my gulan, my shoulder, is St. Brigid's cross made of reeds. And the story is a wonderful story. It's the story of how Brigid goes to the bedside of a Celtic chieftain who's a pagan and immured in his pagancy. And she just sits with him and she takes the rushes from the floor and she begins to make a cross. And he asks her, "What are you doing?" And she tells the story with such passion of the love of Christ, dying for us on Calvary, dying for sinners, that sinners would be set free. She tells it with such passion that as she tells the story, the tears begin to roll down the face of the chieftain. He's touched by the grace of love, but God alive in Brigid and the story. And like Brigid, you and I are tellers of the story of Christ in the world today. Now, she had a great love of the poor. There's a beautiful reading tomorrow from Job 31. And in it, Job tells us he's generous because God, who is God to him? I'm whom God has fostered, father-like from childhood, and guided me since I left my mother's womb. Have I ever seen a wretch in need of clothing or a beggar going naked without his having cause to bless me from his heart, as he felt the warmth of the fleece from my lambs? We're called to share our goods with one another as Christ has shared his love with us. And so the psalm is, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his love has no end." The gospel taken from St. Luke tomorrow, Jesus tells his disciples, "Be compassionate as your heavenly Father is compassionate." And Brigid was the compassionate one at the heart of the church, the Oak Church, Kildare. And she's given the people of Ireland a tradition that we live in the power of the compassion of God. Do not judge, and you will not be judged yourselves. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned yourselves. Give pardon, and you will be pardoned. Give, and there will be gifts for you, full measured, pressed down and shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap, because the amount you measure out is the amount you will be given back. Be generous with your times. Be generous with the gift of yourself and share it with others. This is the tradition that Brigid has given us. At the heart of Kildare, the Brigidine sisters have rekindled the fire that was extinguished at the time of the Reformation. But truly, the fire of Brigid, reflecting the fire of God's love, has never gone out of the hearts of the Irish people. There is a remarkable generosity in the heart of the Irish. They remember what happened to us in the famine, and we give with open hands to the poor and the needy. It is part of our Christian tradition. Let us rejoice in it, and let us rejoice in the morning with the praise of God on our hearts and on our lips as we celebrate Lá Éile Bride, feast of St. Brigid, patroness of Ireland, St. Brigid of Kildare. With thoughts such of these, let us go to our beds. Let us wake in the morning with the praise of God on our hearts and our lips. Agus go manna díal a cóchtach sibh, ahar mach agus spirit neve. Amen. Slán go fóil. Bye for now.